Today I'll be talking about the Dr. Disrespect response. If you don't know the story, I made a video on it already talking about the entire situation, and it'll be linked in the description below. But to make it short, Dr. Disrespect, a YouTuber and streamer, was randomly banned on Twitch, one of the biggest streaming platforms, 4 years ago, and no one knew the reason why until 4 years later. A few months ago, ex-Twitch employees came out and said that it was because he was texting someone below 18 inappropriately and trying to meet up with them using Twitch's messaging system called Twitch Whispers. I go over the possible insider email, which surprisingly aged decently. All of this stuff was alleged, and there was no real proof. Actually, there was no proof at all of any of this. And Doc made a statement admitting that he talked to someone below 18 and then edited out the word minor, which, emphasized that it was someone below 18, but did emphasize that this wasn't or anything of the sort, and he wasn't trying to meet up with this person or anything like that, and never shared pictures or anything illegal like that with a minor. Also, there is no way to send pictures through Twitch Whispers, so that doesn't exactly make sense. But to go on, Doc, since his first statement, has ended up deleting it, then went on to tweet a picture of him basically saying he was playing chess and everyone else was playing checkers. He then made a tweet on August 14th saying that he was on vacation and would be back soon. Then he posted a video announcing he was doing a return stream on the 6th of September, a few days ago, and he has done that stream, and it was titled The Truth. The stream starts out like any other stream that he would do, where he was doing his big old intro, then he gets on camera, say some stuff in his usual character, then he went on to play Wordle, and then finally says his response. Here it is.
Are you nervous to be back? After what's transpired over the last couple months, am I excited to be back to this type of world? God. Man. So glad you're back. Hey, I appreciate it, Shane. It's good to be back to a certain degree, right? We got to figure out this monetization thing. So September 25th is basically when we can reapply for partnership on YouTube. People ask, do I, now that you're not getting monetized, you're not going to be streaming ever again, or you're on YouTube, are you? There's an opportunity to reapply, right? September 25th is the date. So in the meantime, we'll do what we need to do. I enjoy my time here on YouTube. We've built a nice, strong community for years. This is where we started 16 years ago. 2008, I think. I like my time here. And I like the community. We've got the best, realest gaming community, right? The Champions Club. And we've built it on this platform, and if there's an opportunity to reapply for partnership, and there's a date that's been presented to us, then I'm going to take it. In the meantime, like we always done, we've always stayed in our lane. We'll stay in our lane and continue to just put on a show. For almost 4 years, champs, the public demanded to hear from the doc regarding the Twitch suspension. I guess since you all missed the point with my personal statement, maybe it's time to tell my side of the story. Huh, champs? You see, there was a lawsuit pending, and as part of that arbitration, all parties were not allowed to speak publicly about the case. I respected those rules. My lawsuit against Twitch was eventually resolved, as you all know. But even then, as part of the settlement, all parties were still prohibited from speaking publicly about the case or the settlement. However, if one side violated that confidentiality, then the other side could respond. And again, champs, again, I respected all the confidential obligations. But apparently Twitch's own disgruntled employees didn't feel the need to abide by those same obligations. Cody Connors, ex-Twitch employee, wasn't even involved, leaks Twitch's reported reason. Years later, Cody, why do this? What was the point? This was settled professionally. And you, knowing how black and white the internet is, you decided, you rat, to leak the reported reason Twitch banned me in 2020. I mean, for what? Cody, why? Did you not know the repercussions from spewing lies about the two-time? Did you not know the repercussions of accusing me, Cody Connors? You see, you don't know, and it was obvious from your tweet. You didn't have any firsthand knowledge of my dispute with Twitch. You said that I got banned from Twitch because I was sexting through Whisper's messages. Do you even know what the legal definition of sexting is? I do. And yeah, I used Twitch's Whispers, but trust me, I wasn't sexting anyone. You also said the word minor, Cody. I even made sure that word was emphasized in my statement, edited, etc., just to make sure these so-called journalists would pick up on it. And boy, oh boy, did they ever, champs. When you and all these so-called journalists, Cody, fired off your tweets, did any of you consider that the Twitch user may have been over the legal age of consent at the time of the messages? You didn't. Neither did any of these journalists, and neither did Twitch at the time of the ban. You also tried to tell the world that I was trying to meet up with this user at TwitchCon, but you're wrong. Let's set the record straight. I never intended to meet this user ever. We never made plans to meet at TwitchCon or anywhere else, and in fact, we never met in person ever. Your accusations gave false courage to other former Twitch employees to make it up as well. I suspect all of you sort of planned and coordinated this attack. These big-time publications, these journalists, these various outlets are sort of just gossip channels now. Don't you think, champs? They act like they're just gossip channels now, without any real journalism and real research happening. They report on all this based on leaks from two former Twitch employees, one of whom was supposedly on the trust and safety team. If these anonymous sources worked on the trust and safety team at the time of my Twitch suspension in 2020, then you would hope they would tell the truth. But apparently that's just too much to ask. If these former trust and safety team members, and by the way, I know exactly who they are, actually had firsthand knowledge, then what they conveniently left out is, one, Twitch's trust and safety team, the same employees that decided to ban me, internally admitted that the whisper messages were not sexting. And two, Twitch's trust and safety team, the same employees that decided to ban me, internally acknowledged that the whispers did not constitute child abuse material CSAM. I'll say it again. Neither I nor the Twitch user exchanged any graphic messages or images. Cody Connors and these other anonymous sources are trying to paint a picture that I was exchanging explicit messages and photos with this Twitch user. That never happened. I even used the word inappropriate, purposely. And look at how it was defined by everyone, champs. Huh? Including these defaming articles. I'm sorry, but mutual bantering with inappropriate jokes taken out of context should have never led to me getting banned from Twitch in the first place. I mean, how would each of you look If all of your private DMs, your text messages, your chats were looked at, dissected, and taken out of context by someone who's deliberately trying to find something inappropriate in those words. And this is not a situation where a victim publicly accuses someone of wrongdoing. That never happened here. We're talking about allegations that Twitch made against me as a half-baked reason for justifying their actions of suspending and shutting down my channel. Allegations that Twitch made without even a legal analysis of whether the whisper messages were legal. You see, I engage with my community. I engage with other streamers. And through Twitch Whispers, I communicate with Twitch users. Conversations that consisted of a variety of playing games and gaming politics, content creation, random stuff. This was the extent of my whispers with this Twitch user. On June 21st, 2020, my ex-Twitch partner manager learns that I exchanged whispers with a Twitch user. And I say ex-partner manager because for years, this guy didn't do anything for me, my community, or my channel. For years. I'm talking no front page love. You're talking about the face of the platform, right? Literally. The face of the platform. And I know Champions Club remembers this. We got zero front page love on the website. He was never on my channel. He didn't follow me on Twitter. He wouldn't even inform us about Twitch rival tournaments. We're talking about the two-time Twitch rival tournament. Oh, I'm sorry. Would you want to play in it? We got zero support from this guy. And it was just so obvious that he carried a grudge against the two-time. So after we signed with Twitch in 2019, we asked for a new partner manager. And just a few months later, that ex-Twitch partner manager is directly involved with getting me banned. Coincidence? The Twitch user tells the ex-Twitch partner manager that they do not want to report anything to Twitch. I'll repeat that sentence one more time just in case anybody missed that one. The Twitch user tells this ex-Twitch partner manager that they do not want to report anything to Twitch. But this ex-Twitch partner manager encourages the user and even directs them to file a report directly with Twitch, even though the user told him clearly that we never physically met anywhere and that no photographs were exchanged. On June 24th, 2020, Twitch's Special Operations Team receives and reviews the user's report. They find no issues and determine that it did not warrant any further escalation to Twitch's law enforcement response team. That would have been the end. That should have been the end. But that partner manager, oh boy, did he had it out. He had it out for the two-time. He finds out that no further action will be taken, so what does he do? He personally escalates the report to a friend on the Twitch's LER team. The LER team, remember, that's the Twitch's law enforcement response team. He escalates the report to a friend on Twitch's LER team. So a day later, on June 25th, the LER analyst pulls the entirety of the whisper messages and begins discussing them with his director of the LER team. Mind you, this director is on vacation at that time and does not have access to their computer or work files. Let me just remind you, I went through a multi-year, big-time arbitration, okay? And, you discover a lot of stuff. Mind you, this director is on vacation at that time. The LER analyst cherry picks and sends a few targeted excerpts out of context from the whisper messages to this director. Now, if you do this, you can make anyone's messages look inappropriate, even when they aren't. Within less than 1 hour, this LER analyst and his director have made the decision to suspend me from Twitch. Twitch submits a report to NCMEC. You guys all read those little articles, huh? The NCMEC. Twitch submits that report the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Guess what? As far as I know, and over 4 years have passed, they didn't do anything with the report. As far as I know, they didn't escalate Twitch's report to law enforcement. Mind you, the same people that made this decision admit internally that the messages did not constitute sexting. The same people that made this decision at Twitch admit internally that the messages did not warrant any child material charge. Twitch makes this decision to terminate my contract and ban me while admitted they did not perform any legal analysis of whether the messages exchanged were illegal in any way. Twitch makes this decision to terminate my contract and ban me while admitting that they never investigated the age of consent in the jurisdiction where the user's messages were sent and received. Twitch makes this decision to terminate my contract and ban me without ever interviewing me, the user, or any other third party, including the partner manager. It's unbelievable! I'm not going to get into every detail regarding my legal case, but these former Twitch employees that claim to have firsthand knowledge, they just don't have a clue. They didn't report any facts. The judge in the case determined that the whispers were not illegal. So then why did Twitch use these messages against me? Why did Twitch treat the doc so differently from their other streamers? I mean, outside of the obvious. I mean, just take a look at me. Right? Unfiltered. The realest in this industry. 6'8", gorgeous, athletic, successful, college degree, college athlete, bourbon business, gaming studio, beautiful family. And trust me, we've worked hard for over a decade to improve as a person, a husband, and father, and to get where we're at today. I mean, I'm in such a good place today. And all these people, they all act like they're just so perfect. I'm not perfect. I don't claim to be perfect. Sometimes I do. But I also didn't do all the shit that they're saying I did. But then that doesn't make a story, right? They wanted media attention. The media wants controversy. And by sensationalizing all of this with big, inaccurate headlines like "sexting" and "sexually explicit," you all got what you wanted at the expense of the tube time. The reality is, they wanted to cut down the doc. Plain and simple. Take a look at some of these horrendous acts of Twitch streamers that were never banned. I've got some examples right here. Example number 1. A streamer that frequently used the N-word while publicly streaming, which constitutes a violation of Twitch's policies if accompanied by hateful intent. Twitch scheduled a meeting with the streamer to ascertain his intent to determine whether his conduct was a violation of Twitch's policies, ultimately determining it was not a breach of Twitch's policies. Why wasn't I called into a meeting? Why wasn't my intent taken into consideration, champs? Example number 2. Streamer was reported for discussing doing things with deceased animals and discussing pedophilia, all while live streaming. Never suspended, but instead given a multi-million-dollar contract. Example number 3. Streamer was reported for a explicit stream involving children and telling children to send Snapchats of them playing with. Never suspended, but instead, given a multi-million-dollar contract. It's so obvious that certain Twitch executives, employees involved had personal biases against the doc and used all of this as an opportunity to terminate my contract. Go back and look at the timing of all this too. The dock's termination lines up with two preferable, profitable, and expensive streamers leaving Mixer. As soon as Twitch knew that Mixer had failed, and go look at the timing, these other expensive streamers needed a new streaming platform. So Twitch rushed through its decision to terminate the two-time. You see, I shouldn't even be banned from Twitch. It has affected us on so many levels. Back in 2020 and now in 2024. And Cody, Connors, I just have to say it again. Why would you do this? Like I said, this was handled professionally years ago. No wrongdoing. But because of you, Cody, we just lost. Man. Unfortunately, we have to lay off people from Midnight Society. Right? Because of you, Cody. You know, through all of this, we are where we are. And like a man, I'll accept it. What I don't accept is sitting quietly by and let these idiots attack me with false accusations. No. For all these doc haters out there too, oh man, the ones that project and project and project and project and worry about everyone else's problems, right? I can't understand that mindset. I could care less. We've always stayed in our lane. But somehow, some way, these people, they just get in our lane. For all you doc haters, I'm sure you'll dissect all of this and still find a way to publicly criticize me. Do what you need to do. I'll say this isn't for you. This was for my team today, my community, my friends, la familia that have supported me. And I'm not denying the exchange of whispers, champs. I'm not denying that to all of you out there. It looks bad. I have no way of knowing if the Twitch user thought our exchange of whispers was inappropriate. If it was, I apologize. All I know is that I never did what Twitch, Cody Connors, or the public is claiming that I did. That's it. I'm not saying anything more about any of this, right? Unless I need to, because trust me, I have more I haven't disclosed. I just want to get back to what we do best. Put on a show and climb our way to the tippity top of the mountain, man. In our own lane. That's it. People want show the message, release the messages, show the messages. What are we in second grade?
The peak of the stream was close to 250,000 viewers, if not more. Stream now sits over 2.1 million views, over 110,000 likes, and is #1 trending on gaming on YouTube, which is absolutely insane. But he responded saying that the person was the age of consent when these messages were sent, which I'm guessing maybe he was talking about 18 plus. I'm not completely sure. From what it looked like, Doc took out the word minor in his original statement because it wasn't a minor. I'm not exactly sure what he meant whenever he was talking about that, and I don't think really anyone exactly knows. Part I don't like is him talking about, what are we, in second grade, when talking about showing the messages, as I and others do want to see the messages, and it might even help prove him more correct, but I don't know. I'm guessing he does have the messages somewhere because, legally he probably had to have those messages. He says he was texting someone, yes, but it wasn't sexual or anything illegal, just jokes. He also talks about how he spoke to a lot of viewers through Twitch Whispers about a variety of topics. His Twitch manager had a grudge against him, and Doc fired him after not helping him at all or being a good manager at all for him. And whenever the manager got fired, he goes on to try to do all of this and help with this. The other person in these messages didn't want to make it a big deal. The ex-manager gets a bunch of screenshots and takes them out of context and sends them to a friend in the Twitch's law team because this went through an investigation or two or went over reviews and was deemed as nothing to take action over. The director of this group was on vacation and didn't get to see the messages or look over them with full context, but instead was sent some out of context screenshots, causing him to prematurely ban Dr. Disrespect without a legal or proper investigation or interview of either side of this story. Reviews from agencies and teams that specialize in stuff like this, such as the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, Twitch and the Twitch specialized group for stuff like this, Twitch staff on the inside, the judge, the law, and the lawyers all admit that there was nothing wrong in these messages. Twitch staff also, before all this legal stuff and during the prior investigations or prior reviews, before the ex-manager sent this to the law team, all said that there was no S-texting in these conversations, which even settled outside of court and paid out Doc's contract fully. This is something people do whenever they know they're going to lose a case. These were Amazon lawyers, by the way, that Doc was going against, as Twitch is owned by Amazon, and they even saw this as a loss in the future. Literal billion-dollar lawyers, the best in the business, and they still forfeited. Even if Doc doesn't show the messages, or if no one does show these messages, it's clear to see from other evidence in the background that he most likely didn't do anything wrong. Also, keep in mind that Doc says in his statement that they lean towards being inappropriate, which can mean banter, jokes, and other non-sexual discussions that can be unprofessional. Doc also stated in his statement that no crimes happened. Flirting with a minor or anything of the sort is a crime, and there is no criminal case or anything of the sort against him. He also lives in California, which means that laws would have gotten him for stuff like this. He also said that he was going to be taking Cody Connors and others to court over this. People are also trying to say Doc, when bringing up another streamer saying the N-word and such, and still being on the platform and even getting a contract, was him basically saying that the N-word is worse than talking to kids, which I don't think is the case, and I feel like that's just a completely took out of context situation or just like rage bait, which I don't think is the case, as I see it as him just trying to show that Twitch has had a past of weird behaviors and showing that they did this entire situation with him incredibly wrong. Even without the Doc ban, there is still plenty of evidence of Twitch staff being weird and wrongdoings. If you're wondering why Twitch staff and others possibly didn't like Doc, he talked about it in a past stream of his, saying that one of his regrets when working on Call of Duty maps for Advanced Warfare, that he wishes that he wasn't so big-headed and should have listened to others and their advice, basically admitting to being an ego-filled, closed-minded person during that time. Also, there's been times where he was recorded out in public and out of character, and he would get a little aggressive with these people. So he probably is at times not easy to work with, and might be a little hard to be around, which would end up causing him to make some enemies. Some people are still reaching a bit in the situation, using their original statement as proof that he is a pedo, basically, but in the end, he never said that he texted the minor, and clues are pointing otherwise. Even though that this whole thing is still hearsay for the most part, and it will probably be that way forever, you can still look at some of the clues given and see that this was probably another Twitch L. If you're still not sure about the situation and want to see the messages, I'm here with you, as I want to see the messages as well, and a part of me is a little hesitant about the situation. But with everything that has happened and been said, and talking to others about this, I think it's safe to say that Doc is a bit in the clear here. You can also add that the other person in the text conversation, we have zero idea who this person is, and they have never made a statement. I'm sure if Doc did anything wrong and he gets away with all this for a little while, the other person will release the messages soon, showing wrongdoings or anything. Some people, such as Keemstar and myself, see it as a good response with a lot more context, which was definitely needed for this situation, and something that I asked for a lot in the original video about this situation. Others are still questioning it or saying he is just straight up guilty. Again, I see that him not showing the messages and his reasoning for it odd. Don't get me wrong, it is very odd. But other than that, this whole situation's kind of done with. Nick Merckx responded to this whole situation saying, "This Dr. Disrespect is married with children pushing 40, admits to texting a minor inappropriately, his words not mine, so I cut ties, because obviously that's inexcusable. Now I'm a bad friend for not having his back. Bunch of brain rot morons on this app." My argument against this is that you apparently didn't talk to this dude from what it looks like in the comments of this, as you just saw like Doc's message saying, "I'm sorry for bringing you all into this," and that's it. Your original video on this situation was very neutral and vague, and now you want to be aggressive, which is weird. Taking inappropriate to its worst possibility is just what everyone's really doing, and it's kind of weird. Don't get me wrong, inappropriate can mean a lot of things, but if he says it wasn't, sexually, then it was probably just jokes and banter and such. Tim the Tatman and Z-Laner are two other streamers Doc played with a lot, but they still haven't made responses yet. Other YouTubers' opinions against Doc I have already made counter arguments against. Slasher, one of the bigger ex-Twitch employees, said he still stands on his opinion, but who cares? Probably going to get a legal notice soon. Other bigger YouTubers I've seen that are still against him a little bit is like Havos, which I like Havos, by the way, but he wants to see the messages, and hey, I do too. I want to see the messages too, but I would also like to see Muda's response to this and his opinion on the whole situation, but he deactivated his Twitter and probably won't upload a video on this till the day that I do. I'm going to be pretty early to this situation, which I kind of like to wait for other people's responses. But if there is other responses, such as Tim the Tatmans and Z-Laners, that are big, like if they're big responses or anything important, I'll make another video on this topic. But let me know what you all think about this in the comments down below. I think Doc is more in the clear, and I think that it was a good response. I do want to see the messages, though, and if you do want to sit on the fence and want to see the messages and don't know what to think or just don't care, I think that's fair. I really do. I think people who still have hate for him either don't really see the other clues that I brought up earlier, see the word inappropriate as only a definition of sex talk, or just always hated him, or they are possibly easily influenced by what others have said on the internet. But with all that said, thank you all for watching. I've given my piece already on this entire situation, and there's no reason to go over it once again. Thank you all for the support. It means a lot to me, and honestly, I really do mean a lot. Like, the support really does mean a lot to me. I'm not going to go into detail, but definitely thank you all. We're getting closer to 10,000 subscribers, so make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Check out my latest video as it's on a creepy TikTok family. Something actually just happened that I want to make a video on. Maybe you'll get another video this week or like next Saturday. We'll just have to see how everything goes, and then I'll have my bigger project out, hopefully one of these Saturdays. But with all that said, in the end, I'm PERK30, and good luck to you this week.